Save the date. On April 27th, the leaders of the two Koreas will meet for the first time in more than a decade.
Kim Jong-un will meet with Moon Jae-in in the Truth Village of Panmunjom. Ministers from the North and South continue to work out the details. South Korea's Unification Ministry said another round of talks will take place in Panmunjom next week. They'll address security for the summit.
We have confirmed that we will prepare for the summit so that both leaders can have sincere and frank talks. And if necessary, we agreed to have another round of talks in April to discuss the agenda for the summit.
The South Korean delegation has said denuclearization of the Korean peninsula remains the most important issue. North Korea's leader has reportedly expressed support for that, but with certain conditions. The discussions come just days after Kim's surprise visit to Beijing to meet Chinese President Xi Jinping. China's state news agency quoted Kim as saying the issue of denuclearization can be resolved if the South and the U.S. reciprocate with an atmosphere of peace and stability. A senior official from China has arrived in Seoul to brief officials there about the visit. Yang Jie-chul met first with Seoul's national security chief. Chung Woo-yeon told Yang it's very important that the North Korean leader hold summit talks with the South and the U.S. and commit to denuclearization. Yang said Kim's trip to China laid the groundwork for a fruitful inter-Korean summit. Yang is scheduled to meet with the South Korean president on Friday.
And there's a report about another possible summit with the North. A Japanese newspaper says it could be held as early as June between Kim and Shinzo Abe. It cites an unidentified North Korean source.
Japan's top government spokesperson admits there have been talks with the North, but he skirted the question of whether a meeting is in the works.
Japan is communicating with North Korea through its embassy in Beijing and other channels. But I'd like to refrain from going into specifics.
Japan is jockeying for position ahead of the proposed summit between Trump and Kim Jong-un.
Diplomats are trying to set up a meeting between Trump and Prime Minister Abe.
Abe is hoping they can meet in Florida on April 18th and reaffirm their country's close partnership. They have already agreed to keep maximum pressure on North Korea until it completely abandons its nuclear and ballistic missile programs in a way that is verifiable and irreversible. But Abe also wants Washington's cooperation on the issue of Japanese nationals who have been abducted by the North. Japan's foreign minister says Abe will ask Trump to take up the matter during his summit with Kim Jong-un.
We want international pressure to push the North to make a decision that leads to a quick resolution of the abductions issue.
Kono said Japan also wants China to address the issue in its dialogue with North Korea. Japan's new ambassador to the United States says he also will be raising the issue of the abductions.
For Japan, the abduction issue is a top priority, along with North Korea's nuclear and missile developments. I believe the Trump administration understands why it's necessary.
Shinsuke Sugiyama assumed the post on Wednesday. He previously served as vice foreign minister. He says Japan-U.S. relations are currently the best ever, and that his role as ambassador is to maintain and strengthen them. He described the steep aluminum and steel tariffs the U.S. is imposing as extremely regrettable.